Hi, and welcome to the Monetize Your Mission Mastermind for Thursday, April 30th, 2026. And today we are having Karin Crawford come and share about streaming TV. A lot of people have maybe heard of it, maybe you're curious about what it means, what it is, what it isn't. And I thought I would just invite her over to share all the ins and outs about streaming TV with us. She does have a community over at school called Booming Voices Streaming TV. It's the Garden Tech. Is
The
that
tech gardener.
the Tech Gardener? Okay, sorry. Um,
No, that's okay.
so, well,
I'm opening a new community called the Tech Garden. So,
okay. So this one is just going to be Booming Voices Streaming TV.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You're welcome to share your screen. You're welcome to just
All
go
right.
for
Great.
it. Tell us all
Well,
about it. What you got
yeah.
going on?
So, I'll give here's what I'm thinking. I'll give a little overview. Um, we can do Q&A. I can show you some things.
Mhm.
Um, so in terms of an overview, I started this community as I am the tech gardener. And what I do is I match make businesses and nonprofits and entertainers, creators with technology to support the foundations of their whole business. And streaming TV is one of my specialty gardens. In other words, I have a group of clients that are all wanting to leverage their videos on streaming TV. And so um, I formed a community so that they could collaborate with each other. And instead of just having one-to-one, communications and training and onboarding and things like that. So what I do is I go and vet resources in all kinds of areas, CRMs, internet, phones, and streaming TV is one of those as well. My goal is to help everyone achieve your dreams and your goals and have a strong foundation to grow and scale from. And so with streaming TV, you've probably heard of Roku, Peacock, Hulu, Netflix. Those are all networks that stream content where people can watch it in a live feed. Like, you go at 8 o'clock and you're watching whatever's on at 8 o'clock, or you can have video on demand. And I just learned from Jill that Substack is actually has a channel on which networks are they on?
They're not actually, it's Substack TV is the channel, but they're only available on Google specific televisions
Okay,
and Apple specific televisions. If you have a television, like I have a Samsung TV that's a Roku TV.
right.
So I don't have private Google stuff and private Apple stuff. I don't know why
Great.
they did
Thank
that,
you
but
for reminding me. I knew it was something narrow, or at least narrower than the whole
I'm
world. Yeah.
not
And
shy,
so,
but
right. And a lot of people don't, because we all think of Netflix and Peacock and ESPN and the big guys, we don't realize how accessible it actually is to the everyday average business. And I apologize. I have a talk to text app on my computer, and I had it on just before this, and it was all going off, taking my words. And I'm like, I need to not see that out of the corner of my eye, which I'm happy to share that tool with you too. I love sharing efficiency tools also, um, which is what will happen in my new community, the Tech Garden. Um, so with streaming TV, there are a couple of options for taking your same videos that you're creating in Substack that are going on Substack TV. So your content is making Substack money on their TV channel because they probably, I haven't looked at it, but they probably have an ad supported model where there are ads, between every episode, and you're not getting a penny of that. So if you want to
I don't
take that
believe that's
same
actually
content,
their model at all because they don't monetize anything over there. The way that they get money is by subscribing, you having subscribers to your content,
okay, okay.
just so you understand it.
So
Everybody
this is
else
an
can understand.
added perk that they've made to make it more attractive to their subscribers. Okay. As you can see, I'm still learning. I'm very curious about this, especially
Yeah.
because of the tool that they're offering. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Um, so what you can do is take that same content, that same video that Substack is putting on TV, and you can leverage that on other streaming TV networks. And you can pay a lot of bucks and work connections to get directly on the big guys. You can also have a more affordable and cost-effective way to get on streaming TV by going on networks that have millions of views. They're and they're charging content creators a smaller amount of money to do that. You can also place ads on streaming TV. That could be sponsorships on someone else's TV episode where you pay to be shown on an episode that is geared towards your same client, maybe someone who's serving the same client but in a different way. And so, yeah, there are multiple paths. My role is to help people shorten the path, shorten their research time. I've actually vetted a few dozen networks. I found some that were still playing on Roku, but they were dead. They were like content from 22, nothing being added. Some of them, I went to the channel and it wouldn't even open. Um, and then I found others who are active, maybe have 10,000 views, 20, 50,000 views, maybe a couple 100,000 views. And so I have access to share about those. My top aligned networks have millions of views. Oh, one of them over 8 million. And the other really interesting thing is that, analytics, we all want to know who's watching, et cetera. And so what I discovered is that Roku, you can also, actually, let me back up. The other path to getting on is if you have a large enough audience or you want to do your own subscription to watch your videos, there are software tools and platforms that you can set up your own channel, your own network. You can charge people to put their content on your network. They're going to expect viewership. That's what they pay for. You pay for eyeballs just about everywhere, right? Um, and so you can put your own network up. You can have your own subscription feed where people have to pay you so much a month, like they do on Substack to watch your videos. Um, and so the other thing that with the aligned networks and tools, I've vetted them not just because of their views and their accessibility, their affordability, it's also who's behind them and where are they headed? Um, and making sure that you can get some analytics. And what I learned from one of them is that Roku, when you have, like, if you have your own um, channel or network through one of these software apps, and you submit it to Roku and they accept you, and then you can tell people, go to Roku, search for my channel, and download the app like you do Netflix or Peacock or whatever. When you do that, Roku doesn't hardly give you any analytics. It gives you analytics on a channel level, a network level, but not episode level. Um, and for the networks that, it's just limited. So the my top aligned networks that already have the viewers, they are building their own software platforms so that they can provide deeper analytics and have more control over what gets submitted and how things look. And they're just amazing people, like the great people you find here on School, um, where they're really pleasant to work with and really care about the content creators that come on. Um,
Ask a question in here.
yeah.
Okay. Um, so it sounds like just like some pockets of options here.
Hmm.
And one is that you can join in with um streaming TV services that are already up and running and they have an audience, and you're saying those people are creating um mechanisms for posting your content up there. You subscribe to being on the channel. I'm just gonna there's a
Yes.
code.
Yes.
And so you subscribe to being part of the channel, and some of the better ones are loading that platform up in a way that gives you analytics. So you're not just like spending a lot of money and hoping somebody sees your stuff, even though they may have millions of people that come to their channel. It doesn't mean that millions of people are going to see your content or
Right.
are watching
Right.
your content. So having those metrics is really important. Um, and then there's another option that you were talking about, which I've seen, where you it is I saw people who were getting canceled on YouTube doing this. They would create a Roku channel and they would have subscribed. You had to pay to be able to access
Right.
that content that they were
Right.
putting up, which is kind of like Substack. Um,
Yeah.
so there's some different pieces involved in, like, we just put this big umbrella streaming TV up there, but um so your role is helping people find the right platform for the kind of content they're
Yes.
creating. Is that what I'm
Yes.
understanding?
And so there's really 7 factors of success for streaming TV, and I have that in my standard free tier classroom.
Mhm.
Things like what kind of content, as you were saying, how big is your audience? How engaged are they? What what's your budget? We look at all these different factors and then figure out, my role is to help you make some recommendations to help guide that pathway so that you're not making expensive mistakes, and so you can move forward with more confidence and save hours of research time. Honestly, I've spent hours and hours. Part of it was literally in front of my Roku TV. I was searching for business channels, podcast channels, all these, and looking. Um, and oh, okay, in the chat, yep, I see a question. And then I'm gonna make a note here. I want to come back to analytics. Um,
I'll read the question because it doesn't
yeah.
often come. Can you clarify, are these videos YouTube style ones, or are they high professional or analytics? Is it per episode? Oh, that's
Oh, the
from you.
analytics per episode is my reminder to me to come back to that.
Okay. Okay.
And I put it in there so you could help me.
Okay. And also I
So,
want to invite everybody, if you have questions, you can either raise your hand just like that or just unmute and
yeah,
let us know you want to jump in. We're really informal around here.
yeah, yeah. So the mini are YouTube style. Some of the standards for how professional they look depend on the network or the channel that you might be wanting to align yourself with. Some of them have a vetting process. Some of them have there's one network that's LA based that has a wide variety of qualities, and some channels are more open to content that is more raw and real, and others want a more professional studio look. So that's part of the process too, is helping figure out, um, yeah. So, so here's where I am in terms of my channel. I have come into this as a matchmaker, and I did have an alignment last year with a TV network that was offering free channels to content creators. And that's what got me started in this, honestly, was I was networking, I was giving him referrals. He said, "You're giving me too many referrals. I need you to come on and be the producer and onboard these people." So I did, and I redid his onboarding process because it was a mess. He was a big picture guy, not a systems guy. And we had 4 channels up on that network, 3 more ready to go, 14 more people in process, and he went on radio silence, permanent pause. And I learned my lesson to not hang your hat, A, on just one, B, with someone who doesn't have a team. And the networks now that I align with have great owners. They also have dev teams and people that if the person goes in the hospital for a month, they're not going to disappear, and the opportunity doesn't disappear because people's livelihoods are counting on it. So um, I was I was one of the channels just getting ready to pop on that one that didn't go. And so that's something I'm doing in my community, is for community members. I am setting up a channel on one of the TV networks called BSpire TV that's available on Roku and Fire TV, and she's in the process of adding others as well, um, in terms of availability. And so there is an opportunity to put one piece of content on. Most of the channels want, if you, in a network like Peacock, to have a channel inside that takes either, 4 to 6 to 10 episodes to start. So it's still fairly accessible. Um, to have your own channel with a guide where it's a 24/7. Most want to see at least 20 to 24 hours of content to get into that arena. They can work with lower amounts as long as you're on a regular creation and can quickly add more content, like on a weekly basis, things like that. And so that's the answer to that question. Back to the quality question, the we do here in school have some really awesome communities that I refer people to when they want to address their quality of their video production. So if that's something you want to explore, let me know, or Jill probably refers to the same people. So Des and Ed, and I'm now referring to Jill because of the Substack tool. So yeah, and back to the analytics per episode question. The other piece that I have learned from marketing professionals, as well as from the network that I was working with last year, was struggling to get analytics to the channel holders because of the way that Roku is set up. He was working on it, but hadn't gotten there. The best analytics, honestly, are your conversion. When people go to your offer, when they subscribe to something, when they join your email list, your call to action is going to be your best analytics. Because ultimately, what do eyes count if they're not interacting and taking that next step, right? So I will back up. That's not the only way to make money on streaming TV. It's the main way that most people in my community so far are focusing on. Um, you can also make money as you have either having your own channel and have a free ad supported model, which is having the ads that show up in between and you get paid per thousand views, like usually $2 to $5 per thousand views in a month. And there are some networks that will split those ad share revenues with you if you have a large enough audience. So that is a way to make money as well. With a single episode, like if for people that want to put a single episode or two episodes up on Blooming Voices streaming TV channel that's coming, your call to action is going to be your best way to have your analytics and also to make money. Um, so along those lines, next week I do Meet the Expert series in my community, and next week we have an advertising executive who is going to come talk about calls to action and train people, give people some really good tools for that. And he's doing two hot seats. He's gonna um, uh, I'm asking for video submissions, and he's going to pick two that he's then going to do a live analysis and help them improve their call to action. So, yeah, so any of you are welcome to come over for that as well. Um, and let's see, did I
Is
cover?
is this worldwide or is it just US based?
So, anywhere Roku plays, you have the option to be played. So there is that. I do have an aligned network that, oh, this is the other thing I meant to say about the aligned networks that I have is all of them have marketing ecosystems around them. In other words, they are marketing the network. They're also marketing the content and the content creators on their network, on their social media, and they're often providing other marketing services paired along with it. So, yeah, and that's been really valuable to our members. One of the aligned networks had her she came into it because she serves authors and highly paid speakers who have all this amazing content, who have no time to turn it into videos or turn it into a course where they can get paid. So she takes their book, creates a course that's highly interactive and engaging. And she has a whole strategy for launching that on TV, having it available behind a paywall, etc. She also runs international conferences. And when you asked about the global, that's why it came to mind, because she has virtual conferences focused on each continent. And she also has the other thing about all of my aligned networks is they love to give back to the community. Her her heart, I just love it. She finds out about a problem in our society or in another society, and then she says, how can I leverage what I'm doing and my platform and my voice and the voice of my creators and clients to solve this? So she found out that in sub-Saharan Africa, the maternal death rate and in childbirth was quite high. So she created content for them about how to care for yourself when you're pregnant, how to have a healthy childbirth. And she said she's getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. And she's offering that for free. And I just love it when people do that. So, yeah, so there are opportunities abounding. Yeah, can be. And that's part of it too, is deciding, is your ideal audience, where geographically are they? What else? And the other thing to think about is what other kinds of TV do they like to watch? You know, you have the marketing question of, um, your ideal client, where do they shop, what kind of food do they eat, that kind of thing. Well, for streaming TV, it's what else are they watching? Because you want to place your content in a network that, if you're placing it in another network or channel that already has some content that your ideal audience is already watching, because then you easily borrow those eyeballs. Like, for example, I have an art educator who wants to become the new Bob Ross, and she shared with me, I want to be on a channel that has cooking shows, because people that watch cooking shows will sit and watch my how to do art shows. And I thought that's a really good insight. So, yeah. What other questions?
Larry asked, did you say your channel is available on Roku?
Yeah, so we're going on BSpire TV, which is on Roku as well. Yeah, it's not on the Roku channel, but it's in the Roku universe.
I have a question about that too. So when we're talking about channels, are we talking about, and this is to help me like figure out the ecosystem in a way that I can have some framework for it.
Sure.
So when we're talking about Roku TV and channels, are we talking about things like on the internet we have YouTube and we have Vimeo and we have Rumble. Those would be like channels, or those are I guess I'm getting lost between
Yeah,
the
people use the word channel with a lot of different meanings. It is,
right,
yeah. Yeah, and channel and network are sometimes used interchangeably. In my mind, when I use it, a network has multiple channels.
which would be like YouTube or Vimeo or Rumble. That's a network. And
Yeah,
you help people find the network so that they can have a channel which has their content in it. Their content
yes,
lives in there.
yes. And
Um,
ours is typically, um, yeah, Vimeo is not a TV network. It's starting, I've heard they're stepping into streaming TV.
mhm,
Um, So, like Google TV or Apple TV that Substack is on,
mhm.
those would be considered TV platforms.
Right.
Then Substack TV, I'm not sure whether they
It's a
consider it a
network.
network or a channel,
It would
but
be a network.
yeah. And then Substack TV could decide, I want multiple channels on Substack TV, that when you go into Substack TV, it's kind of like if when you go into Peacock and you see there's a sports channel and a drama channel and et cetera. And then in those categories, sometimes there's multiple channels. So, yeah. So you can have content placement on someone else's channel. You could have a channel on someone else's network. You can also create your own network or channel through a software platform. That's kind of the easiest way to describe it.
It's it's simple, but it's very complex
It
also.
is.
So,
And actually, let me do this. Let me pull up and share my screen and I'll show you BSpire TV.
mhm.
So it'll give you a little bit of an idea. So BSpire TV. Oh, the other thing that most of them offer is live stream. That if you want to have, when you have an event and you want to live stream it, either a virtual event or an in-person event, you can live stream it and charge pay-per-view. So that's another option. Then you have the TV guide, which is the 24/7, and there are multiple channels, all different kinds that then when you click on that, like this is a channel that's all I Love Lucy. And so right now is playing Lucy the Flight Manager. After that is Viv Visits Lucy, etc. So you watch whatever's on at the moment, and you can, scroll down through. You can do a search. I like watching the History Channel here. They've got a um, really cool one, and then there's on demand. So this is how the viewer views it. Do they view it where they go in and they watch whatever's someone decided to play at that time frame? Or is it on demand where you can come in and say, okay, this is a comedy. There's a movie here. You can just click watch now. Um, you can typically on these networks select favorites so you can come back and watch something again easily. I'm not signed in, so you aren't seeing my favorites, but this network and many who are more accessible to content creators, they have what they call BSpire Originals, and this is content creator placement, which is nice that you're not competing for eyeballs in the on-demand area with I Love Lucy and all the movies and, the entertainment whole ecosystem. She's making it easy for people. So, like, for example, Blooming Voices TV will be here. It'll show up new, and then there will be a category down here that it will fall under. And I have another client that's going to launch May 9th here on BSpire in this section. So in
So
these,
I'm
you'll go into the channel and then you'll be able to select the episode and watch it whenever you want. Go ahead.
so for BSpire or for Blooming Voices TV, the channel,
Mhm.
you're going to offer people to have a one piece of content in there for a price. Is that
Yeah.
how okay. And so would they also have the option to have, could you have like a silo of content? Could they have like a playlist, a series?
Yes, there are two ways to do that. One is if they want to keep housing it on Blooming Voices TV channel so that the eyeballs who are on, say, my content or Jill's content also get on Larry's content quite easily because it's just looking down through.
Right.
And what we'll be doing there for those that have a series would be the placement here. Like she's only got 5 episodes, but when you've got, 20, 30, 40 episodes, then it would be placing all those together rather than having them scattered throughout. So it's easy to locate them. And it would probably be, she is actually, this is not the way to do it, to have the same thumbnail on each one. She wants each episode to have its own thumbnail. And you could still have a branded logo so that you could identify, oh, these are all her 5 shows, but you're able to tell at a glance instead of just hovering what the topic is, and what the even the call to action, or why would someone want to watch it.
Mhm.
But yes. And then the other thing that I'm seeing is that Blooming Voices TV will be a stepping stone for people. They may not have their content all on their, oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Um, I Let me shut that app down. My work phone. Keep forgetting when I get on Zoom. I need to shut it down. um, that people may want, like one of my clients, that the one that's launching on May 9th, her goal is to get on Netflix and Hulu. And this is her first step. And so she has enough content. And we met with the executive from BSpire and put together a path for her to have her own channel like this, where every month she's adding new content. And then as she uh, it's a cost-effective way for her to figure out um, how to position and what new content to create to launch into a bigger platform. So Blooming Voices could be that, where someone could start with one or two episodes and then they say, you know what, I really do want my own channel. And so then that content could be moved to their own channel. My thinking is that we might want to keep one piece of their content on the Blooming Voices channel, because all of us that have content there will be driving traffic to it. And then that piece of content on Blooming Voices can invite them to go to their full channel. And so to cross-pollinate.
It's a lot. And this is definitely on Roku, correct?
Yes.
Because I know
And
there are some TV channels out there that they call themselves TV channels, but or Roku channels, but they really aren't.
right, they're just a website. Yeah.
They're a website,
Yeah.
and they count visits to their website by whoever hits that landing page. That that's where the analytics thing comes in again.
Yes.
It's really important.
Yeah, it is. The other thing, since you all are either on or getting on Substack or looking at that, Substack and YouTube are great places to test your calls to action, to test your content, to figure out what's resonating and be able to do more the same way. And then what you can do is your highest performing, I always recommend this, your highest performing videos on Substack or on YouTube or on another platform, that's what to start with on TV, because you already know it's converting.
Yeah. And there are places to practice, and then there's places that you go to pay for the ads. Because it's not hugely expensive, but what you want to do is make it profitable instead of just paying to have content put up there that isn't converting, that you don't understand if it will ever convert. I read a thing by Hormozy the other day in his something in a minute, uh, message in a minute thing that he puts out every once in a while. But it was about advertising, and it was specifically about running ads on Facebook. I think he's really talking about that angle, but he talked about it in terms of run run your posts, create your content as though it's an ad, and measure the interactions you're getting with your audience and converting it hopefully into to an offer. But rather than and pick the winners and test your money against the winners of things that
Mhm.
perform well in your feed, rather
Yeah,
than just trying to guess and up ads or content like this. But ultimately all content is advertising in some form or
right,
another.
right. Yeah, it's like a staircase. S Test where you already are or where it's free before you start paying money for it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And we had a question in the chat. What is the benefit of doing streaming compared to having a YouTube channel? Um, there are a lot of times people with strong YouTube channels they say, okay, I've got all this content. What else can I do with it? So streaming is an add-on. Maybe their monetization on their YouTube channel pays at first for their streaming TV presence. Um, some
Different.
people are tired of the algorithms on YouTube. And Jill, you mentioned another problem. YouTube can shut down channels. You don't really have control. Um, and when you are putting your content on another TV network, you're also similar, but you're going into more of a contractual relationship. And with the networks that I recommend, you're in a relationship. Like they care about you. You're not just another number. And they actually will market your content to get eyeballs there as well as what you're doing. Um,
Providing content in a different space. YouTube has a purpose, and YouTube is available on television.
right.
Um, but it's like having your content on Hulu and having your content on Netflix or having your content on YouTube. All three spaces, they have different audiences.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah. And if you're not sure if a video is good enough quality for TV, put it up on YouTube and go watch it on your TV. See if it's too grainy. You can test out those things there too. And you can have it, if you have it in your own account, you don't even have to have it public. So you can put it up as private or unlisted before you
mhm.
release it. So, yeah, good question. And another thing is on YouTube, unless it's highly converting, content disappears pretty quickly. In other words, when I go to a YouTube channel that I want to watch, it always you either have the newest first, and so you might have content that's 2 or 3 years old and no one sees it. On TV, you can take your best content from 2 or 3 years ago that still is applicable, interesting to people, and you can get eyeballs on it on streaming TV. So there's a little more control that way too.
I'm gonna throw a plug in for Substack here too, because
Yes, please.
Substack, the whole ecosystem of Substack works in the way that your content doesn't necessarily have to disappear. You can go back to your older content and highlight some stuff and repost it as a note. Surfaces right back up to the top, and it doesn't surface back up to the top on your page, but you can refresh it, change the date, and it becomes newer content. People used to do that with blog posts on
Mm.
websites in the old days. You just change the date and republish it, and then it's like a brand new post. It's coming back. But
Yeah,
it's really hard to do that with YouTube, unless you're changing a bunch of stuff on it. And even then, it's like, we already saw it. We decided we don't care about you.
yeah. Yeah, the other monetization piece, since that's the title of our topic,
Mhm.
is bringing in sponsors to your content,
Mhm.
inviting people who want to get in front of your audience. And we just had a sponsorship expert actually on the other network, Easy Way TV. And I have a link to that in my community where they brought on a sponsorship network that helped expert who helped people think about how to do that and what considerations. Um, and you can start small. It can be, some people want whatever they're doing to pay for itself. So if you have a half an hour episode and you want to give 4 people 2-minute segments and charge them $25, that's $100, to help cover the cost of creating that episode. And then whenever your episode is played, they get play. For those going on TV, you can even do it where it's instead of a one time, it's I'm putting this episode on TV. Do you want to still be a part? It's $5 a month or $20 a month or whatever $100 a month, whatever your budget is. So there are when you're providing eyeballs, you can charge for it. And that's
Yes.
true on Substack too. For when you have more subscribers, other people want those eyeballs, and you could charge to have people engaged in your content. Or you can, instead of thinking of um, charging, you also can collaborate with someone else who serves the same audience. You do a joint video together, whether it's talking together or each of you have 15 minutes or whatever time frame divided up, and you each present something that that same audience is going to be interested. Then you both drive eyeballs to that what on whatever platform. And so it's almost like the old postcard co-marketing that I did as a florist, where at Valentine's Day I had a lingerie shop on one side and my flowers on the other, and we both gave out the postcards and sent them out. So the guys that were interested in flowers, they got it, but then it's like, oh, lingerie. All right, I'm gonna go check that out. So so that's another way to collaborate and help each other. And I'm sure in your community, you can easily find other people to collaborate with because Jill's that kind of person.
Yeah, there's so many different ideas out there when it comes to collaboration and helping each other. It just makes the world so much better.
Yes, it does. It does.
And you're talking about the postcards. If you have stuff that's kind of sticky, then you're I was thinking about a story my dad told when his dad owned a drugstore in McCook, Nebraska. It's still Press Drug. And my dad used to work there when he was a little kid, and people would my it was back in the days when everybody smoked, and my grandfather would have boxes of matches with, the advertisement on them. And somebody came by, I think it was like somebody from a different store came by and took the whole box. And my dad was so indignant. He goes to his dad and says, "He stole our whole box of matches." And my grandfather says, "Great, get another box, put it on the counter. Maybe somebody will steal that box too." Because a guy owned the bar down the street. It's like, and so
Yep.
if you have stuff that, people want to share your stuff and your message gets out, and it just like it makes the world better. I guess that's
Yes.
on
Yes.
that.
And I think we've talked about this, but Des Dreckett, his content revenue lab, is that one that you promote here as well?
Yeah.
Um, so that community, his whole thing is how to monetize on a small audience. And he's got a ton of tips and tricks. And so for my, some of my community members and clients already have everything together. They just need help getting it on TV. Others are farther back and are still figuring out what their messaging is, how to make this work. And so I'm not trying to be everybody. I'm happy to collaborate. And that I'm so excited about the collaboration with you, Jill. I think there is so much opportunity, and yeah, having a all-in-one tool like Substack provides is pretty amazing.
I also offer a mini offer creation engine. It's
Mm,
it's super inexpensive, but it's a little course over in school, and it will take you from an idea to actually how to put it all together and make the offer in just a couple hours. It
that's
makes
awesome.
the process super simple. Most people have so many skills that other people need. They're just like they overthink the idea, and it's just like throw out small offers,
Yeah.
between 17 and dollars. Most people will just buy it if it solves a problem that they need solved and you're good at it. It's really all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
So we're gonna share the link to your community again over here in the chat, and I'm gonna make sure that I share it in the show notes when I post this up on YouTube and all this. Um, is there anything else you'd like people to know about your community?
Um, we're really a get it done community, focused on getting the work done. We do collaborate, people find each other, and um, we, one of my goals really is also to serve those that are ready to get going, also provide helpful content for people that are earlier on in the process. Ooh, excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Um, and I do have a 15-day challenge for those that are ready to go and want a shortened path. They want a guide that will walk them through and be with them through the whole process and help them implement a done with you. And then my premium and VIP tiers. Premium is for people that are maybe 3 to 6 months away. They want to work on it. We have a mastermind. They want that weekly accountability. They want access to the past recordings of our experts and want extra tools and support in getting there. Our standard and free tier is for anybody that wants to come, check it out, and also for those that want to DIY it. And take the information I've given and then do their own thing. And then the VIP tier is similar to the 15-day challenge. Maybe someone who's 1 to 2 months out and wants, or just wants someone to, for me to spend my time on a one-to-one basis with them, really helping them get it done.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any questions for Karin that we haven't answered?
And Larry, since you have your camera on, I'm curious to learn about you. What do you write about, and what's your specialty? What's your passion?
Oh, thanks for asking. I do copywriting mainly for solopreneurs over 50, primarily who have a Substack or a website and they need help with their copy, primarily their hero post and about page welcome emails. So I write about how to improve those things and just um, offer to help. I have a couple of digital products out there to help with those efforts as well.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great.
Really
Yeah.
excellent.
Yes.
So still early, but got a lot of content out there already though. So
That's great. Awesome.
It's one of the
thank you.
three areas that people most commonly miss when they're starting a Substack.
Exactly.
Mm, yeah.
So, should we just go around the room and let everybody share?
Sure, if they'd like to. I
Tracy?
wasn't sure with not having cameras on if they would want to do that. But yes,
Well,
happy.
Tracy's good at I
Yeah,
know she'll turn
sorry,
hers on.
sorry about that. My phone was blowing up for an event that I'm going to tonight, and I had to answer stuff, and I didn't want to be on camera being rude, so
No,
I was
that's
listening.
okay.
I was listening the whole time. So yeah, I'm Tracy, and I write about bringing magic into your day-to-day life. Well, folklore and magic into your day-to-day life. I'm an author, and my book, Mind Over Magic, is about whether or not magic is real. My podcast is called Folkloring, which is about easy ways to bring folklore and magic into your daily life. And that's pretty much what I do.
That
And she,
is very intriguing.
and she has a Substack and a school community.
I do.
Awesome. That's great. Wow.
And we'll put those in links below. And we'll be sure to put Larry's Substack in the links also.
Awesome.
And Jenny can't share with us. She's not in a position where she can share with us, but we will find her links as well and share what she's doing in the show notes below. And I'm Jill Hart, the coach's alchemist, and the person behind the U World Order, which is both a podcast and a school community and a Substack. So it's been great having you with us, Karin, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And Jill, I'm looking forward to lots more collaboration in the future.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you next Thursday for the next Monetize Your Mission Mastermind. Bye, Al.